Hello, and welcome to our first episode of the Below Average Reviewers. With me, I have my co-hosts Zink, Momi, and Dakota, and I am your host, Vanilla Thick.
We'll just ignore what's happening right there, okay?
So today we are going to be talking about an anime called Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, which came out end of 2019, in 2019. So what are your guys' thoughts on it after watching it?
Anime's kind of gas.
The opener's a banger.
I really do like the opener. Opener's pretty good.
Except for like the creepy part that you and Momi pointed out towards me. We're good.
My favorite thing about this is probably the art style. I enjoyed
style
how
is
it
great.
was animated. It looked pretty, was pleasing to the eyes. It had a cartoony feel, but it didn't seem that cartoony. If that makes sense. I don't know if it does or not.
Like the
I
anime,
feel like a lot of newer anime does. Like the art style of newer anime compared to this one.
it gives you
It just-
almost a Danganronpa vibe. The anime itself is very, very well done. The story is told fairly well. Throughout the anime, there are scenes and stuff like that you just never get brought back up and don't get brought to fruition. Granted, this is the first season, and it's led to being looking to be at a second season. Since the anime only ended at the about early March, or I'm sorry, late March of 2020 was when it stopped airing. With that, it's easy. You could easily probably say, depending on how popular it ended up being, that there will be a second season, since the anime led to there being a second season, basically.
Yeah, after
the
looking
end.
online at this stuff, I found so much promotional stuff on Amazon and eBay. There's even Google Chrome extension themes you can get. That's Hanako-kun.
I feel like Funimation put a lot into this and promoted it as well. You know, like when Funimation actually goes into a show and they put forth, effort, it usually goes beyond one season.
Well,
Also, a big thing as well is that the manga is published by Square Enix, which if nobody knows about Square Enix is fucking enormous.
Final Fantasy comes out of them.
Nier Automata, all the Nier games come from them, and then so many other different things and stuff. They just have such a big foot in the industry that I highly doubt that we will not receive a second season.
well, it goes more back to the animation studio, I believe, for that.
Well, still because they still promote Square Enix and stuff, and Square Enix probably did something related to promoting any variation of it too. So I mean, if they backed it in whatever variation that they did, I mean, that's already saying something.
So, besides that, how do you guys feel that the plot went within the actual? So how about this? Let's just talk episode 1. The plot within episode 1. For it to catch your attention as a good anime, do you feel like episode 1 hit that mark?
I feel like personally though the episode 1 was very good. It's something that a lot of animes almost tend to lack. I've noticed as of late that it did very well. It draws the viewer to want more. Where Nene, she's basically goes to hears about Hanako and stuff, and is like, oh, I want to find out more about this, and she's in love with this guy that she's really never met before, and he's one of the big name kids of the school, of course. So she's just
typical Japanese anime girl right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
but she's wants him to notice her and stuff, and so going to Hanako to hopefully find a way to do so, because she heard that he can grant wishes and stuff like that, and by doing so, having all the events that do occur throughout episode 1, with the scales and the mermaid and stuff like that, in episode 1 was pretty huge. I think, and it draws a lot of like interest and stuff, at least for me, into the show.
I did have a question about those scales. Says in the last episode, the mermaid comes back, right?
Well, the mermaid it didn't come back.
Well,
it was
her
her
follow-
like
her-
people,
yeah.
her people, her followers or whatever.
So why couldn't Hanako-kun be the next ruler too? Because they both ate a scale. I thought that was a plot point that should have been resolved in this.
I think it's because he's actually
He's
dead.
he's already won. That's another thing. He's already like, what do they call it? An apparition? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already an apparition. So, and that was the big thing with it, I think.
But doesn't he have like a real body now because of that scale? Because he formed
No.
that on?
Well, no, because there's never been a scene once where he's shown having scales or having to have water around him and stuff like that or anything.
So when you said Bond, Noah, I was thinking throughout the anime their bond as like she's I don't want to say like part apparition, but part apparition to where she can actually touch them. That's how I was thinking about it throughout the entire series. That's why she kept on getting damaged by them or getting hugged or kissed at that one point of it.
So you think them sharing that bond-
I thought it was just for the sheer fact that she was able to start seeing them now and start really helping to like fight against them. I didn't think about the apparition part.
Well, like the whole thing is that she is not an apparition, and the same goes for shit. I'm trying to remember his name.
Koi.
Ko, that thing.
Go.
Same thing as him, but he's a part of a long line of family exorcists. Him and his brother, both being exorcists and stuff.
Minamoto clan. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's another thing. So, and they're not apparitions. Everyone can see them perfectly fine. Like all the kids and everything in the school and stuff like that. I mean, we see them interact with other students and stuff. Of course, Aoi, Akane, is another example that the one girl that's really good friends with Nene. Like if she was any variation of an apparition, of course, Aoi wouldn't be able to actually like interact with her or anything.
That was her friend that got kidnapped and turned into a doll, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because she's like the school popular girl. Like if you go through high school, you generally have that one girl who like everyone like sees as like the queen of the high school almost kind of thing, where she's like the most popular and the prettiest girl or whatever. That was Aoi.
So how would you guys describe Yashiro then at that point? As her being the main character and the protagonist of the series, do you guys think that she fits more into a conventional anime girl style, or do you think that Square Enix kind of pushed her out of that boundary?
So, this does take place in a high school, so them having high school themes in it is kind of important to make it seem more realistic. So her having that, like, oh, I like this boy, oh, he likes me back. I think it plays the part good. Same with her caring about like how her body looks and stuff like that with her fat ankles, her toe legs.
Ankle insecurities.
The daikon legs.
That oh my god! I was like, really? Like out of all the things to point out,
Daikon senpai.
I'm sitting here, I'm watching this, I'm like, damn, she's thick like a daikon.
I do find Hanako's brother weird.
Are they supposed to be twins?
They are twins.
no.
They
Yes,
are
they
twins?
are twins.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking.
Yes, they are twins. He's his younger twin brother.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he killed him.
Yes, we have not received any information of why or how or anything related to that. We also haven't received word on how Hanako himself dies. It's also kind of funny whenever you talk about Hanako, because like There is the whole thing with Hanako-san, the one girl. There's the Japanese urban legend and stuff, and it even like talks about in part of the anime as well is that Hanako is referred to being a female, but actually is actually a guy, which was always interesting.
A common misconception.
Yeah, but with the legend's actually about a girl who died during World War II, who is, literally haunts like school toilets and stuff.
And we know that he died right after the Apollo 11 mission, because he had that dream of wanting to go to the moon.
Yeah.
So even the timelines of his death or their death doesn't line up historically accurate too. It's close, but
I mean, yeah, it's also just
take a second to appreciate that a lot of the wonders in the school are like interwoven between Hanako's like actual human existence. I felt like that was really,
some of them, only a couple of them are.
I felt like that was really cool.
Yeah, I did too. It definitely helped develop the story.
It gave like a deeper meaning on like who Hanako was as a human, because we got quote unquote some backstory on him from the teacher. Is it Tsuchigo Mori?
I couldn't tell you, but you can just say
the spider.
That's fine.
I think Tsuchigo Mori.
Yeah.
One thing also that's interesting is looking at like stuff about the anime and stuff, like doing more research. One thing I've noticed is that Mitsuba, the guy who died but wanted people to remember him, like trying to remember who he was, he's like, hey, do you remember me? And then he ends up getting killed by Hanako, and then becomes number 3, the Wonder number 3, after, what's his name? Tsukasa, right? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
The brother. Tsukasa kills the third Wonder, and feeds his heart to Mitsuba. One thing that's interesting, but why I'm talking about that, is I think Mitsuba is going to hold a much larger role going into either season 2, if we get it or not, or if we decide to read into the manga more like pass or whatever. Because if you look online and stuff, they actually list Mitsuba as one of the primary protagonists, which is interesting.
That whole Mitsuba scene with the third Wonder was like, I'm like, is this really happening? Is he? What's going on here? All I remember seeing that like really stood out was Hanako's brother just slamming the aberration's head into the mirror.
Yep.
And then you see Ko about a couple minutes later come in, and you just see the skeleton of the aberration. I'm like, oh, cool. So they're cannibals. They eat each other. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Well, so like
I was hungry.
Mitsuba was like force.
Only the apparition could satisfy.
Yeah, Mitsuba was force fed. Number 3. I don't think we ever got a name for number 3 either, which is interesting to think about. The bird.
No, I'm looking at it right now, and it just says Representative Mitsuba. It doesn't say anything about the bird.
Yep. So we don't even know who the bird is, and even looking on where I am, it literally just is like going through it. Where is it?
It existed, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's all it is. The Hell of Mirrors is a boundary once controlled by a bird-like supernatural. That is literally what it stated. Joss is my bird, bro.
So speaking about the other characters, I would feel like we would save Hanako for like last to speak about character-wise, and we go around to like the other supporting characters. I like to talk about like my favorite character out of this so far. I'm a big fan of Ko. I was really thinking that I wasn't going to be a fan of him just because of the way he acted within like the first episode you meet him, but then you learn more about him and he just grows on you.
Well, a lot of these supernatural shows has that exorcist or church-going person whose purpose is to exorcise the demons or ghosts or whatever, and they tend to become the comic relief character first.
Also, can we Just
Oh, go ahead, Nami.
I was just gonna say, there's one character that is like, I think is gonna be really interesting to find out more of, and I think it's Sakura, the
You
green
mean
hair,
Queen?
the
You mean
green
Queen?
hair girl. Dude. Oh my god,
Seems like the
She's a queen.
antagonist.
that's
She's
my
a queen.
that's my favorite character of the show by far.
We were watching that, and Sage was like, "Momi's gonna love this woman." I'm like, "Yep."
I absolutely love her. She's my favorite character, and I really hope we get a lot more out of her because I think she's gonna have a lot of interesting backstory.
Okay.
Like, because we don't know about her wish, why she's with Tsukasa, and all that stuff. Like, we know like very little about her.
Yeah, I wish we got more backstory of characters in the last episode.
Yeah,
I have a feeling the last episode was like a filler.
yeah,
It
that's
seemed like
how
filler to me.
I agree to that because like usually like most animes, even with the like hinted season 2, try to like at least tie up certain loose ends and stuff like that. But they left that's one thing I will say why I like can't say this anime is like an 8 out of 10 or higher is because there's a lot of loose ends they just did not tie up.
It felt repetitive too.
Yeah. The repetitiveness is honestly fine. I felt like it wasn't. Luckily, the repetitiveness was enjoyable. Like, it's not where certain animes like Fairy Tail and stuff like that, where you have the repetitive parts and stuff like that of the show. Like, it was still enjoyable to watch. Like, seeing them go through all the puzzles of the different wonders and stuff like that, and things like that. It felt interesting. It kept.
I mean,
being
you knew Hanako-kun was going to come every time. Like,
well,
those are
sure,
two
that was
people,
gonna happen.
it makes sense. He's like the main character essentially. With
I mean, he didn't come every time because he didn't.
At the doors.
Doors, yeah, he couldn't get to the door, the realm of the doors or whatever it's called. I don't know if they really gave it a name. Yeah,
He didn't go in the 4 o'clock library, but in that aspect, she was quote unquote safe.
Well, he was
She
there.
went in-
His ghost spirit was there observing. And then when that episode ends, he's behind the curtain talking to the librarian.
Yeah, asking if he had said more than what he should have.
So I do have a question, because going off the doors, because we do see that, what's her name again?
Nene?
Yeah, Nene. When she did see Hanako's past, where he was bruised and stuff, Hanako did drop a key, and she kept that key when she came back to the presence. So what do you think that key is to?
I feel like that's
Don't
gonna
say
be
Aaron's basement from Attack on Titan.
Aaron's basement from Attack on Titan, bro.
Bad.
No, honestly, I feel like it's gonna lead to something that's gonna, I believe, either is that like when she went through the doors, she like went almost like not back and through time, but like went to a previous time period. So it would be interesting to see if they either do something like that similar in like the next season, or she gives it to him for some reason, basically, or it has some special ability that like it has or something,
The key had a rocket on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think it has to do, because I feel like outer space plays a part in this too somehow?
Correct. They talked about what was it, number 2? I think it is. The stairs is they said that, and I think it's like episode 11. I think it was where they went back and what's her name? I'm trying to remember her name now.
Which one?
Are you talking about the spirit?
Yako. But like Yako, she they were talking about like how it's like like almost like a representative of space kind of thing, because it's not like it's not. I don't remember what they said. That because they said something. It's like it's space, but it's not like a like one of the like supernatural realms or whatever.
A boundary.
They're
The boundaries. It's not like a boundary, but it's like it is, but it's not. It's something related to space. I don't remember exactly what they said now. I kind of want to see if I can find it.
It's the multiverse coming into the universe.
Let me see. I could take a gander and see if I can find it. if you guys want to keep trying to talk about it, I'll see if I can find it real quick.
Like, man, I kind of wonder why, like, out of everything, why there are some, like, I'm hoping that there's a season 2 to kind of wrap that stuff up. But man, I don't know. It was just a really big risk right there.
I mean, there is like, I don't know, because they didn't lead to an ending, which could assume there might be a season 2. But we look at No Game No Life, where that's not getting a season 2 and there's no ending. Where stuff has and now they're in School Live and all these other long-running shows that have more volumes and like manga chapters and episodes. Once my train of thought. They put like a little like loose like bow on it, so if we can get a second season, it's fine. There's already like an ending plot points.
It's all because One Piece needs to have so many fillers. Takes up all the other animes.
Out of all the aberrations of the Seven Wonders, which ones is your guys' favorite?
Yako!
Okay.
I was like, man.
Yako, because Yako's a consistent freaking mood. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna let some of y'all touch me, but the other ones, yeah, y'all can fuck off. Oh wait, you said my name wrong. I'm gonna beat your ass. Oh,
Personally, I like the teacher.
yeah, teacher's chill.
The teacher's pretty chill.
The teacher's probably mine too.
Oh, here it is. Hang on, I found it. I think I found it here.
Tsuchigamari.
So, hang on. I'll read this really quick. This is back to what I was talking about earlier. I just found it. Each of the Seven Wonders boundaries has its own function. My library, this is him talking. My library is the school records. Number 2 is space, meaning that you can reach almost anywhere in the school through her boundary.
My question is, how can you be a teacher in an apparition? I thought you weren't supposed to be normally seen.
Well, that was what they were kind of talking about. In what was that, episode 10? I want to say, when she first entered the Hell of Mirrors, because she was with Mitsuba, and Mitsuba, no, it was episode 11. That was when Mitsuba was trying to feed or had already fed the heart and everything to Mitsuba, and Mitsuba Tsukasa is like, hey, I'll grant any wish. What is your wish? And Mitsuba says, I want to be human. And I don't remember what he exactly says. He says something like, you cannot be a human or whatever.
Well, that's what Hanako said. Hanako stopped that wish because he says you're already dead, like, you cannot come back alive.
Yeah. So it seems like there might be ways that you can. I mean, for a perfect example, the teacher, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. All I remember is him being called Spider Sensei by Yiko. But, because he's a perfect example of that, where he is, dead, he's an apparition, but he can be seen and is literally a teacher of the school.
Right, like that kind of...
So there's probably ways you can bypass it or find ways around it.
Like, is that just part of the lore behind him,
Yeah, because we don't really have any, and that's one of those things I was talking about earlier. Is there's so many little things there that have zero information on it.
That just happened,
Yeah, I feel like being human again. All right, I'm human. I'm gonna teach some kids.
Well, they do say that these aberrations and spirits do come alive by rumors. So if you just spread a rumor around saying I'm a real human being, then he could theoretically become real. But I think that's plot armor.
Well, no, perfect example of that is when we first see Mitsuba, actually. Remember when Ko was hanging out with his two friends and they're by Ko's locker? They both see Mitsuba's shadow and run away. So that's actually, I think, a perfect example of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to know how the school is like still open and stuff. No lawsuits or nothing. No kids die. No big deal.
I mean, they had a tree that makes boys fall in love with each other.
Oh my goodness. We're going to take our friendship to the next level.
level.
Well, another one was the Misaki stairs. The big thing with that is outside of Hanako, Nene, or like anyone who was there or knew everyone who knew Aoi forgot her existence. Even her own family did. So that's probably why going off of what you said, even though it was joking, but like, how is the school still open when there's like people, students have died and stuff? It's like, perfect example is the Misaki series. Like, the existence of someone when they get stuck or something like that, for example, like Aoi, just poof, they're gone. Their entire existence is just gone.
So, like with Mitsuba, now when he turned into the aberration, they made that thing about him snapping necks, and that's how he would kill. Now, is that supposed to be like a foreshadow on like how he died? Like his
Well, did you in the episode that he's in, where he's introduced, he has a huge scar around his neck. You see it when he's moving his scarf around. He has a huge scar around his neck.
I don't know if I noticed that or not. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't notice it.
Sorry, did you look it up?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I just looked it up, and I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense now.
So I do have a question about Misaka, because we get her backstory when they get rid of her boundary, and we see that we assume that she is dead in that flashback, because
who are we talking about again? Sorry.
Are we talking about Yaiko's form?
No, the
main
Misaka
form?
stairs. Misaka.
Oh, you're talking about when the photo.
Yeah, because he pulls her
out of the basically out of the air.
Yeah, I think that applies that she was dead, but how could he again touch an aberration?
Well, they explained that she was a fox spirit, a standstill fox spirit. So, how I perceived it was, I thought the guy that she was falling for was some sort of like descended out of a priest clan, that he could see these aberrations as well.
Well, the thing is as well is that, I mean, we saw it with Hanako. Before Hanako and Nene had anything to do with each other, Hanako chose to reveal himself to Nene. So it could have been something like, for example, like she decided to show herself to him at some point after following him around or doing this or that.
I don't think he decided to show himself, because the rumor said if you knock 3 times, say my name, he will appear. And since he's a spirit, he must appear.
But how has no one else seen him?
Has anyone else tried?
I mean, I don't know. Well, that's the thing, is that like it's still a rumor, but like he has never. But from what we know, I mean, he even shows up in her classroom that one day and like screws with her hair and stuff.
Well, that's the same thing with
and no one else sees him. So I feel like they may have a way to be able to like choose who sees them, maybe because like there's certain like. I mean, going back to almost like Mitsuba as well. Like Mitsuba was seen by not only Ko, who was, friends with Mitsuba, but was also seen by Ko's friends who weren't friends with Mitsuba. They didn't see Mitsuba's true form, but they saw the ghost form.
Because the rumor said that if you get your shoes in the... I see what you're saying, but...
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
they have ways of maybe being able to reveal themselves to certain people, maybe, or maybe there's more to the one guy's story that we just don't know, or we probably will never know.
Well, I mean, I definitely agree with the theory behind it, that it's probably just something that you can decide on what people see and what people don't see. just for the sheer fact that Hanako's not seen by everybody, but even like when they're in a crowd, certain the couple people that he allows. But yeah, I mean, it's not like oh, what were the little bunny things called?
Moke.
Okay, I absolutely love those things.
They're so cute.
They're so adorable. All you have to do is have candy in your pocket.
They look like peeps. They look like Easter peep rabbits. Okay, so let's talk Hanako now. I feel like Hanako himself, although he brings some comedy relief, some perviness, which is, I feel like within this anime is kind of needed.
I mean, it
And
kind of adds to the childish nature of him.
exactly. But then the times where like you could tell like when his eyes shift, it gets dark.
I'm not a big fan of Hanako-kun or Hanako. Just don't call him by his. I mean he was like average, but like when he wasn't on screen, I wasn't sad.
He wasn't missing him.
I was not.
I think he's a fine character. I feel like if we knew more about him as a character and his story and stuff, I feel like he'd be more intriguing.
Who would you have? Who would you rather have, him or his brother?
His brother, like the thing is his brother by far, because his brother is just so much more interesting. I mean, he beat the shit out of a bird that was the ruler of the Helamiers, but just even because they're supposed to be unbeatable and unkillable in their own realm, but just I'm gonna kill this bird, kill the bird.
Plus, he's okay with his brother killing him. He's like happy or something about it. Like,
Yeah,
he's more open.
He's a much more interesting character almost.
I feel so. Every single time that they met with each other, it's like it's been so long since we've seen each other. Do you think that they don't have any perception of time at this point?
Well, one thing also is that he's always, almost every time we ever see Hanako have a close encounter with Tsukasa, he's terrified. Like the first couple times that they see each other, he's literally terrified.
And do you think that's because of what happened, or because of power level, or something like that?
I feel like it's something related to their past, if anything. It probably leads to why Hanako killed him.
I figured it out. The key leads to his brother's dead body.
No, it just leads to the next rocket ship. Duh. There's a rocket on the key, is there not?
It's a rocket key.
It's a rocket key.
Maybe in apparition you can hop in that nice rocket and fly to the moon.
Yo, NASA, I'm hopping on.
Yo, NASA. Overall, though, would you recommend this show to your guys' friends?
I already have.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I mean, especially since I'm a lot newer to anime and stuff. I thought it was a pretty good one. I am hoping that they do a season 2 to help explain some more stuff, because I don't like to read. Aren't mangas backwards too?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just put it in a mirror, Dakota. You'd be good to go.
Oh, Honda.
No, I'm left-handed. It might feel more natural that way.
I probably would not recommend this to somebody because I feel like the story's not that deep. The plot's not that interesting. Like, there's all these questions, but I don't feel like I want to read the manga. Whereas Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, or even other horror shows, I want to read the manga because I'm curious about what happens in them. And this one, I just don't care enough about the characters to learn more about them.
The shows that you just dropped, they're more of a mainline show. The show isn't a mainline show, though. I would feel like this would be one to be for a seasoned anime watcher or a seasoned person that has read a lot of manga. This would be something for them. This is not anything for a newbie. That's just now let's start watching a show.
Well, I would recommend Hunter x Hunter over this. So
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm a lot newer to anime, and I found it pretty interesting. I think like the concept behind it's pretty cool.
I do want to talk about the director of this show because that is something to look up now after I watch the show to see other things they have done. And the director is Misama Ando, and he directed School Live, which is not similar, but it's another horror anime. But I think it was done better than this.
Ooh, he did an episode of Danganronpa.
Yeah, he did fairy tale and stuff like that. But he also is in charge of the art style for both these, which makes sense because the School Life art style is cartoony, and I assume there's a darker theme to Hanako-kun that we do not know yet, because it is horror. I would consider this horror, so I assume there is a.
He did Vampire Night.
By seeing him using like cartoony art style to tell a story that's has dark meaning to it, I do enjoy that.
Ooh, he was a storyboard artist for Danganronpa.
Okay, so the last thing I want to ask is, what would you guys rate this out of 10?
I say probably like a 7.
Yeah, I agree with Zach. I'm gonna go with a 7.
I'd go with a 7.
I'll go with a 7 too.
It's like
I wouldn't recommend it, but man, it is a 7 out of 10.
it keeps you intrigued. It does that well. The not tying up of loose ends and stuff like that and certain things. It kind of hurts it a lot. In my opinion.
I also felt like the last 4 episodes were a lot slower than the first 8.
Yeah.
I felt like the first 8 were the same pace as the last 4 were.
Yeah. The last 4 were much slower for sure.
For anime openers, though, where do you guys rate the opener?
9 out of 10.
Fair enough. I about the same. Yes.
I couldn't find an extended version of it on SoundCloud, unfortunately. So
I've always been a fan of the more low key. I guess is almost what you can almost say. I like anime intros that are more not chill, but not as aggressive and stuff like this opener. But I don't mind them. I don't mind the aggressive openers. But for example, an anime I guarantee none of y'all watch. A Dark Rabbit Has 7 Lives. I could even show you it after this. The opener of that is in my personal opinion, perfection. And then you have the opener of Elfen Lied and stuff like that. Those openers that are just really calm, but have almost feel like they have another meaning behind them, kind of thing. It's just, I don't know. I've always liked those.
See, that's what I thought about because I told you that we recently started watching Demon Slayer, and the Demon Slayer opener. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very aggressive and stuff.
But it's a battle manga too, so it has to be aggressive, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. But for example, I could almost say Tokyo Ghoul is one of those anime openers that is a perfect mix of the two, because there's parts of the song that are just really chill.
Well, which opener? Because there's.
I was getting to that. For example, the opener 1, Unravel. Yeah, Unravel is really almost very chill at the beginning, and then it gets very aggressive. Then it chills back a little bit. It gets aggressive again and stuff, and it just keeps that pace almost. But that's basically the anime too.
Okay, is there any last thoughts about this show?
A second season is a must, I feel, because we kept saying the entire episode, there's so much stuff that is left unwritten.
Yeah, I agree. That's my biggest takeaway is I need more information. So I want to know, and if it's something I don't even watch TV a whole lot just in general because I'm always busy doing something. So the fact of sitting down and trying to watch this and enjoy it, and now that I have enjoyed it, I need more. I need more answers.
I need more Sakura and Natsuhiko screen time. I want more of those two, please.
Okay, well, on that note, I think we should end this here for tonight. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you guys for listening to us. We plan to do this weekly. We'll see you next time.
Deuce.